Perfect. We are at 2 minutes after the hour. We'll go ahead and kick things off. Thank you all so much for attending. This is Jeff Gordon from the LeafLink side. We're excited to have you here today to join our Seed to Sale 101 webinar for New York operators. A few of us from the LeafLink team are going to be walking you through the functionality, answering your questions, and making sure that you have a really great understanding of how LeafLink supports a Metrc integration in your state, in New York. Before we kick off and kind of really go into agenda, I did want to hand it off to our new CEO, Ashwin Raj, who is going to share a few words with you all here.
Thank you, Jeff. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. As Jeff mentioned, my name is Ashwin Raj, and I'm thrilled to serve as the new CEO at LeafLink. It's been 90 days since I joined, and I am learning and learned a lot, still learning about the cannabis industry and a lot of the difficulties that operators, retail stores, and consumers face navigating it. And we want to be a partner who can help alleviate some of those burdens as we enable solutions to address key challenges associated with wholesale cannabis transactions. I had the privilege and of meeting a lot of New York operators a few weeks back at Rivalry, some of whom may be on the call here today. And it was awesome. The New York market has an energy about it that is truly fantastic to experience in person. And I look forward to meeting and learning more from all of you, from other operators, visiting more facilities and dispensaries in the months ahead. And I can't wait to see the New York market reach its full potential. The great state of New York has always been a leader for the rest of the country, and I know this will be the case for our industry as well. However, before we dive in, I wanted to take this opportunity to address some of the pricing changes that we had made earlier this year. After numerous conversations with operators in New York and across the country, and after hearing feedback from our account managers and LeafLink team members who champion very hard for our customers internally, I wanted to take this moment specifically and acknowledge to the New York market and personally to tell you that we got it wrong on our pricing change. To our current and past customers, I regret the frustration that it's caused you and understand the impact that it's had on relationships we've built with you over the years. The transition to a usage fee was not the right call, and we want to make it right. So we are discontinuing the usage-based fee effective as of October 1. This means that your November invoice, which includes all of the October transactions, will not include any usage fees. All invoices in the subsequent months will also exclude all usage fees. We are reverting to a flat fee model, and we want to maintain that model that is both transparent, it's predictable, it's consistent, so that you can focus on running a business and managing it on a regular basis and not worry about these changes. I'm deeply sorry for the impact and the disruption that the pricing changes have caused. And our team members and myself are here to answer any questions that you have on this change. We'll make sure that we work with you and your teams to generate new contracts and transition you to a flat fee package. Myself, our team, we all take this moment very seriously, and we are here to help you out along the way. On the pricing, please expect a communication from your account manager and in the days ahead on this. And don't hesitate if you want to know something immediately. Please don't hesitate to reach out to any LeafLink team member if you have any questions. So a slight digression, but I felt it was important for the New York market for me to acknowledge this and the steps that we are taking to correct this. Now we'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming of and the topic of the day, which nearly after 3 years since adult use sales first launched in New York, we are approaching a very critical milestone with track and trace implementation. And so our team is very eager to share details on our integration with Metrc and give you the tools to easily manage this next phase. So I'm going to hand it back to Jeff and also to Griffin to talk about everything related to track and trace. And I look forward to seeing and talking to many of you in the months ahead. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashwin, for chatting with the group here. And we'll go ahead and move forward with our introductions for the rest of the team. Obviously, myself here, Jeff Gordon, I manage our professional services team. And then we have a couple team members to help walk through the integration at Nat Norell on our enterprise account management team, and then Griffin Martell, who is one of our principal product managers navigating the Metrc integration. Quickly touching on our agenda for the day, in a few moments here, I am going to hand it off to Griffin, who is going to walk through an overview of the integration, really set the stage for what we're covering today. We'll go through what the steps are to connect Metrc to LeafLink to take advantage of that integration, as well as some of the functionality. So navigating what it looks like to add your tags to individual products, our inventory tracking and reconciliation, as well as our fulfillment flows. As you've seen on the Zoom tool, there is that Q&A portal. Please feel free to send in questions as they come up. And then again, if there is time at the end, we'll hang on and want to make sure to address all of your questions. With that being said, I am going to go ahead and stop my screen share and hand it off to Griffin to share a little bit about the Metrc integration.
Thanks, Jeff. Hey, everybody. I'm Griffin. I'm the principal product manager in charge of seed to sale integrations and inventory here at LeafLink. We first built this integration about 3.5, 4 years ago as a way to automate your workflows and really bring your compliance in to work for you and make it less of a problem when trying to sell and bring products in. We currently have Metrc going in 23 different markets. It's been very successful in all those 23 markets. A few of our bigger enterprise customers have told us the integration saves anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week easily by using some of the basic workflows, even more if you use a lot of our automation workflows. So I'm going to go through and kind of talk about the first time setup and some of the quick ways you can automate some of those workflows in LeafLink. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get going. Right. And so just checking everyone can see my screen, right, Jeff? Okay. So I have our LeafLink demo up right now. So if anything looks a little bit weird, no, it's a demo account. Everybody's workflows might work a little bit different, but I'm going to go through some of the basic workflows that we see most customers use as far as inventory and product goes. And if there's any questions about your specific workflow, happy to answer it and talk to you guys later. So to start out, day one, when Metrc gets turned on and Metrc opens up their APIs, it'll be available on every single account to begin with. And so to turn this on, the first thing you're going to do if you're an admin is go into your user settings and find your user here. And down at the bottom, you'll have a new section that shows up called compliance. It gives you a wide variety of user settings. And so if you're the admin on the account, you'll probably want to turn them all on to begin with just to set it up. But if you have anything specific to individual users, you can go in and take away their access or limit what they can do. And so one of the main ones we see people do is on splitting packages, which is one of the fulfillment workflows Jeff's going to go through. One of the pro tips, make sure you keep split packages on who you really want to do splits, because that's one of the few places we push data to Metrc. And so starting off, I'm going to enable all. There we go. And once you have that enabled, the next place to go is the manage licenses section. Since this is compliance, we put all the Metrc integration with licenses as a way to show you where the integration is getting set up through. And so when you go in to do first time setup, you'll have setup integration, and it'll first ask for a Metrc API key. And so I'll jump over to Metrc here and show you where to get that. And so Metrc just released a new UI today. So if you've been in Metrc before, this is what the old one looked like. But to get your API key, you just click on this caret next to your username and you hit API keys, and it gives you a generated API key. If it's your first time in, sometimes you'll need to generate it, click generate one extra time, I've noticed, just because sometimes the keys get a little bit funny for Metrc. But once you get that, copy it in, come in here and paste it in. And then you just select which licenses you'd like to pull from. If you have multiple licenses in LeafLink, just select which ones you'd like to pull Metrc data from. I'm going to select both. And that's where we know where we're going to pull data from your account. This one API key goes to all your different licenses. So you don't have to put in multiple API keys per license, just one, and we'll see which ones we can pull from. The next thing, these next two setup steps are really about like filtering down what you would like to see in LeafLink. Metrc can have a lot of packages. It can, 20, 50,000 packages at a time. And you really want what's the most pressing to you and like what you're selling. And so the first thing to do is exclude lab test states. And so this is where you go in and you say like what packages you don't want to see based on like what lab test state they're in. So it's, if their test failed, retest failed, submitted for testing, any of those things you don't want to see, just click on those and we won't show those packages. The next option here is included locations. If you've used BioTrack before, locations kind of functions like rooms. I know that the medical market in New York was using BioTrack, but locations is just kind of think of it as digital representations for where your physical packages are. So we tell people if they already kind of have like a fulfillment room or a like sell room, like just click that in. Or if it's a little bit more crazy at your place, just make a LeafLink for sale room and you can move packages into them when they're ready to be put on the marketplace. I'm going to use all of these just so I get the most packages available, but that's really the first setup steps. This last option here is hide attached packages, and that's to help you in your fulfillment process. So as Jeff's going to go over what it looks like to do in like manifest creation and like transfer fulfillment. But if you have a lot of people that are like adding packages and fulfilling orders, you might want this option turned on just to make sure that the same package doesn't get attached to two different orders, just to make sure. So I'm going to hit save. So something to point out here that will give you a little success message there. But once you hit that save, we immediately do a sync of the last 30 days of data in your Metrc account. So if you do this on day one, it's only 1 day of data. But if you tick a little bit, we sync back 30 days to get all of your packages and all of your data in there. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. And after that, we sync everything every 15 minutes so that we don't break Metrc's API. But every 15 minutes, you should expect to see updated data as it flows through. You also have a few buttons in the platform that let you do a immediate sync, that if you're like, I need this package or I need this transfer right now, you can click those buttons to get like a more targeted sync to get your data immediately right away. And so that's the general integration setup. You'll see here on the side, there's a new tab called Seed to Sale that will show up once you have that all turned on. And so as soon as you click that sync button, we'll start pulling in packages. And so you'll get started on the packages page here. And so these are all of your unassigned packages. We'll show you the package labels, the item names, which an item name in Metrc is like a product. It's a name, an ID, a like unit of measure, all that kind of good stuff. Just like a general product naming convention. It'll give you the quantity. If you click on the package here, it'll give you some more info. Since this is a demo, it doesn't have as much info, but it'll let you know any specific info about that package. Now on the basic level, this packages page is how you get packages onto your products in LeafLink. And so we have 2 tabs here. We have assigned and unassigned. If you have like big production batches that you want to like really closely monitor, we have some customers that just have like a big production batch of 200 pounds. And when they move it over, they come in here and they just assign it. And so they're like, this is my new production batch. It has a batch ID on it. They come in, they find their product, and they're like, I'm just going to assign to that product and know that it's ready to sale. So as soon as you click that, it clicks over, it disappears from this list, but then it'll appear back over on this list, which is the Assign tab, which shows you which packages have been assigned to what products. A quick note here, you can also pull in testing results and testing documents through this as well. So I have an example here that I can pull up. And so this one right here, this package has a testing result on it. You can see the test results here. If you click into it, it'll pull up all the specific test results on it. And if you want to, you can click next to that package and you can create a batch, and we'll import the testing results from Metrc. And you can put in your COA if you want to show that to buyers. And that will create a batch on LeafLink under that product to show on your menu. And so that's just a quick way to like automate one of the like creating batch workflows that we have. So all that so far was kind of manual. Like I said, a lot of our bigger like bulk people will use the manual workflow for tighter control. But on the automation front, what we've done is go over here to the products page, which is where we've done a lot of the automation. So you can see we have the LeafLink products here, and we have like a metric mapping. And so this is where you map your LeafLink products to your metric data so that packages and your inventory automatically flows through without you needing to do any steps at all. And so to do that, you come in here next to the product and hit create mapping. And you select which metric license you'd like to pull into this product. And then you just find your metric item. And so like this one, I have Blue Dream bulk buds, and you hit map packages. And so that does a couple cool automation things for you. First of all, it finds all your packages that were in the unassigned tab and immediately assigns them. And then as new packages come in, we will automatically assign them to that product as well. So that way you don't have to sit there and manually map packages as like they go through your production. They just immediately show up. And then also what this does in the future, which Jeff will go over as well, is if you use our manifest flow, it'll automatically assign packages to your orders so that your packages will automatically get assigned as you attach manifest to them, so that you don't have to do any line by line reconciliation. It'll automatically find those packages, see this and go, oh, it goes to that line item. But Jeff will go into that in a little bit more detail here in a minute or two. And then lastly on this page, there's a couple of cool creation tools we have here. This lets you create products from Metrc. And so you come in here and you find your metric item. And so this is a new product line I'm going through, since Metrc is the source of truth for like compliance. Usually as you're creating a new product line, you'll create the item in Metrc first. And so after you create that, you can come in here, rather than having to create the product in LeafLink and then come over here and map it, you can just create it directly from Metrc. We'll sense all the data that comes in, and then you can hit create here, and that'll create a new product. And that will also do the mapping and bring in the packages as well. And so from the get-go, you'll have like a product shell, and you'll have like an initial inventory set to begin with. So that way you don't have to do setup over and over. It'll just be a 1 or 2 click setup. If you're creating a menu from scratch and you want to start, if you're a brand new account, we also have a bulk import tool that once you go into this, it gives you like a little import wizard, select what license, what product you want to go through, and it'll bulk pull in those products and let you create like a whole menu from a 3-step check mark here. It also, I'm not gonna go too far into it because there's a lot of like editing on our demo account, but you can quickly add 50, 60 products at a time to your account without having to go in and manually make every single one. Let's see, there we go. Sorry, I had face over the X mark. And so that's the main suite of setting up the integration, putting in your API key, getting your package filtering in, and then showing packages, creating batches, and setting up some of the automation tools. From here, I'm going to hand it off to Jeff, and I'm gonna let him go through our inventory reconciling flow as well as our order fulfillment flow.
Awesome. Thanks, Griffin. I'm going to share my screen here and pull up our inventory tab to walk you through some of the additional functionality Before jumping into it, I did want to just kind of take a quick aside. And as we're going through this, obviously we'll share out the recording. We have our materials, reference materials, but you would also have your dedicated account manager as well as a member of my team to help in your use of the integration. So I do like to share that the education does not stop here, and we would, of course, fully service your use of the integration moving forward. So where I've navigated here to cover our reconciliation process is on our inventory page. So on the left-hand side, I've navigated into inventory, and then you'll notice this reconcile inventory option. I'll go ahead and click in here, and a few things we'll notice. One, seeing a quick timestamp for the most recent metric refresh date. I'm on the West Coast, so we can see that refreshed just a few minutes ago. And then you'll see all of your LeafLink products across all of your inventory statuses. So all of your inventory items, the SKU, and then we're going to pull in the information from Metrc, kind of letting you know what the current inventory count is as relating to Metrc. And then in the second column here, you will see the total as it relates to your LeafLink inventory. And so this is where it'll allow you to kind of compare. You can also export this data if you are looking to leverage it either in Excel spreadsheets or another system. But what this does is it gives you the ability to reconcile. As you're fulfilling orders, as orders are placed in LeafLink, and then you're manifesting them out of Metrc, this is a helpful way at the end of the day or at the start of the day to make sure that we are in alignment. A few things I'd like to cover is we would not update your LeafLink inventory based on what is in Metrc. That is a control that you have the ability to update. And so as an example, we'll see here our Metrc inventory as well as our LeafLink inventory. If I ever want to make a change and kind of a sweeping change, sync up LeafLink to Metrc, I can click these check boxes and I can check as many as I'd like, or we'll leave it to this one. Bulk action, update total with Metrc. Once we click that button for any of the products that you've selected, it will update your LeafLink inventory with exactly your source of truth from Metrc. And again, if there are any questions, please feel free to chime into the Q&A. That's what the reconciliation option looks like. Again, it is there not to automatically update your inventory, but to give you that reconciliation option with the option to update your inventory in bulk. So that's our reconciliation flow. I'm going to move now into our fulfillment flow. I've navigated into one of our existing orders. We have an accepted order. I've plugged in my ship date. And the flow that I want to show here is building a template, building a manifest in LeafLink that would then be able to be used in Metrc, and that would be your manifest. We, as it was mentioned kind of early on in the webinar, we have launched this integration broadly. We get feedback from customers that being able to be in LeafLink, build the manifest in LeafLink itself, and then have that ported over into Metrc can save those kind of back and forth steps. So I like to highlight. And then in a few moments, I'll show you what it looks like if you will maintain your workflow of simply building manifests in Metrc, so we can support that as well. So very quickly here, we're on an order again. To build our manifest, what we can do is you'll notice this attach package button. This will give the opportunity to select any of the packages that have been assigned for that product. We can go ahead and attach these packages. We also have the ability to split packages. And so as an example, let's say you are building a product in LeafLink, you're building a manifest in LeafLink, and you have a package of, let's say, 20 pounds or 40 pounds, but you need to split it down to what is actually on the order. Instead of going into Metrc and then kind of recreating that new package, you can come in, you can define what do we want the new package amount to be. So what are we kind of splitting off for this new package amount? It'll show you what the source package new amount will be. And then it'll give you the opportunity to select from one of your existing unused tags. And so this will pull in that full list. We can select the most recent, it's in alpha order. You can select, alpha numeric order. You can select the most recent unused tag, click split, and then that'll flow back into Metrc with that tag having been created. From here, once we have our packages attached, we can go ahead and simply click create template. I have an incorrect product, I think, added to my order. Actually, Griffin, I think that this might be the license For this webinar, Griffin did just set up the integration and one of our licenses selected. So that's the error message. Once you click create template, that will then create your template, which you will have available in Metrc to use as your template. In a few minutes here, once I pass this back to Griffin, we are going to hop back into Metrc, and Griffin's going to show you any remaining workflows in Metrc. But we do like to highlight the ease of attaching your package here, clicking create template, and then that will create the template for you to utilize in Metrc. A few additional things just in terms of workflow, pivoting a little bit. Let's say you are continuing to build your manifests in Metrc, right? You're not necessarily interested in utilizing the flow of building that manifest in LeafLink, and you want to just build it in Metrc, which is totally fine. You have the ability to actually pull through those manifests and attach it to the order in LeafLink. And the benefit of this is twofold. One, by attaching that manifest to the order, that can directly share it with the retailer who's created that purchase. So instead of having to, maybe send them the manifest or making sure that they get it, they will have access to that. The other side of it that we wanted to share is as you're attaching your manifests, we have the ability to track sell-through at the retail location. As long as that retailer has kind of partnered with you on this and they plug in their Metrc API key on their side, no workflow for the retailer. They simply need to set up the integration, just plug in their API key. As you're attaching your manifests, you have the ability, because we know the packages that are coming through, to actually track the sell-through of the product to the retail location. So I'll cover a little bit more on that in a moment, but I did want to share here, once I attach the manifest, to Griffin's point, if you have already done that upfront mapping, which is a one-time mapping, the packages on the order will automatically connect because our system will know this particular package does line up with these products. If that mapping has not been done, right, it is just this very quick manual flow of lining up the right package to the right product. We can click save. We can do the same here for our next one. And then we are good to go. You have your manifest attached, the package is confirmed. Moving forward, what I wanted to highlight is if your retailer does plug in their Metrc API key as well, you will have this additional sell-through tab that we can, again, work with you on. And this is something the Metrc integration powers, is actually seeing of the items we sold them, right, of the products we sold, how much has sold through. And we refresh that every morning through Metrc. And it is through Metrc, not their POS. So it is pulled through from the source of truth. And then from there, you would see, again, week over week, and in our reporting, what that sell-through has been. Again, any questions that come through, please feel free to chime in on the chat. And then Griffin, I will pass it back to you.
Oh, also, Jeff, the receipt log on there too, if you can. I was going to talk about if you just reshare your screen really quick because I have...
No, absolutely. Great call out. Skip that additional tab. So it's a great call. So by attaching the manifest, what we can do is something called what we call our receipt log. And you'll notice these error messages that get surfaced if the order does not match to the manifest and does not match to what the retailer has accepted on their side, we will service an error message. And so the example here, let's say there was a particular order for, let's say 12 units. It was picked and packed, fulfilled, put on the truck. A case got lost on the truck, and then the retailer accepts that manifest with fewer items than was actually on the order. We will service that as an error message. So kind of a helpful way, instead of waiting for your retailers to spot check at the door like everything is matching up, we will quickly surface that via the receipt log to make sure that it ties out.
Thanks, Jeff.
Absolutely, thanks.
I'm gonna jump in and show a couple of those workflows in Metrc to show what it looks like. We have a lot of customers that use Metrc as kind of their ERP or their production software, and then use LeafLink as their their final delivery of goods. So I want to kind of show what I've seen people use it for and how they kind of use the software. So as I've said, this is their new UI, so it's a little bit different if you've used it before. But a lot of the times I said, or earlier on I said, you got to move, we look at package locations for package filtering. And so you can see here, all of these, this is a packages tab in Metrc. This is all of your active packages where you can see everything. And to like move packages in, you just select a package or select multiple, and you just say change locations, and it'll bring up this UI, and you can go in and tell them where you want to move the location to. And so that's how you move it into those like included locations in LeafLink, so that LeafLink pulls them through. And so it's a quick way to be able to like move like a new production batch over. If you already have like a location like, packaging or warehouse, then you just will naturally move it into that location because that's kind of how Metrc works. But that's how you move locations for packages. Sorry, new UI there. And if you need to do anything else on a package in Metrc, you just click on the package. They have all these different actions to take on the package. So you can submit it for testing. You can split packages here, which is this new packages one. That's where we did in the fulfillment tab. You can do it in Metrc here. You can also like adjust quantities and adjust package quantity to something else. Like I said, we sync Metrc every 15 minutes. So typically if you do it in here, it'll take, 5-10 minutes to reflect in LeafLink, I've noticed. And so that's the packages page. You can jump between the active, on hold, and inactive, but that's the Metrc packages page, or the new one. Jeff was talking about templates, which Metrc kind of thinks of as like draft manifests. To get to your transfers, you click on transfers here, click on your outgoing, and that's where you see all your outgoing transfers. So here's all the transfers that get attached. And so the templates that we create aren't full licensed manifests yet. They're templates, which are like drafts, basically. And so to turn those into manifests, these were all created from within the LeafLink UI, so you can kind of see what we bring over. You just find the template that you just made, usually it'll be at the top, and you just click Use. And you can see we pull in all of the data from your order. So we have the transporter, the drivers, the vehicles, which are all things we bring in and let you add to the template at the order level. And then it has it looks like I took a package off here earlier. So Metrc's UI is not always the best still at trying to find stuff. So add a package, we bring in the package and the wholesale price, but this is what typically a transfer would look like. And all you need to do is come in here and hit register transfer, and that'll register it. For some reason, this demo environment in Metrc makes me upload a PDF, which I'm not going to do. Let's see if it makes me do it again. Yeah. Most other markets don't require a PDF document. For some reason, this one is. But once you hit register transfer, then it will immediately turn that into a license transfer, and it'll pop up in this view, and LeafLink will automatically pick it up, like I said, in those like 10-15 minute increments, and bring it into LeafLink to be able to attach to an order. As you saw in Jeff's part of his presentation, there's also a refresh button on the attached manifest option in LeafLink. So you can also, if you want that manifest quicker, you can click that refresh button and it'll automatically kick off a refresh, and we'll look for new manifests right then, and your manifest should show up within a couple minutes to 5 minutes if Metrc's API is behaving nicely. But that's kind of the overview of the key things around Metrc's UI that as they pertain to like LeafLink workflows. So I'm gonna stop there and open it up to the next part of the presentation, which I think is Q&A.
I believe it is. Yeah, thanks so much, Griffin. And we do have this time reserved for Q&A, and feel free absolutely to chime in if there are any additional questions into the Q&A chat. We do have Katie on the line. I'm not sure if we can open up the audio for the team, for participants on the webinar, or if we do just go through the Q&A portal, but we're here if there are any questions.
I can do that. So if someone would rather voice their question, if you just raise your hand and then I can click on your thing and unmute you. So feel free if you'd prefer that to typing it.
I'm going to hop in just to help answer any questions if they happen. Q&A chat has been pretty quiet.
Yeah, it seems like all questions have been answered in the Q&A that a few have come through and we've been able to answer in real time. But again, if there are any questions, we will follow up with this with all of the materials that we mentioned, and we will hang on here for a few minutes as any questions come through. But that has officially completed the webinar, and we really, really appreciate everyone taking the time to chat with us today.
We are recording this, so you should definitely have access to this recording afterwards. To answer one question we got, welcome, please ask more. We're here for you.
Chiming in, there actually had been a question earlier just regarding retail operations. And so I know as a part of this webinar, we did briefly touch on what it looks like to track the sell-through information from the retail location to the brand, to the vendor, and then what that can do for the relationship. We have some dashboards that we can walk you through on the retail side as well as the vendor side to really highlight the benefit of leveraging the Metrc integration and what it looks like to have that data shared with any of your particular vendors to help with, again, reorder cadences, prevent out of stock. And so absolutely on the retail side, we have a few people that chimed in. We'll follow up with you after this session. But I did want to just kind of to share, we do have support on the retail side that can leverage the Metrc integration for value add. Great. Well, thank you all so much. We're going to go ahead and close the webinar down, but we all appreciate your time and have a great rest of your week. Thank you, everyone.